from Lansing to my job until about 5:10. So they're saying they served me this at 4:40, which they didn't serve it to me until around like 5:15ish, 5:05. So with that, the text messages, yeah, I did write that because I was hurt and devastated and stuff like that. And I was like, I couldn't believe that, you were gonna go this route to, get me out of that apartment. Other than that, let's see, what else did she say? Yes, I have been in that area for 2 reasons. Only reasons are I've had to go there to sign off of that lease, so I am no longer on that lease, and I had to make 2 visits to the office. So that is probably where she saw my vehicle and stuff like that. Other than that, I drove by because right after I signed off that, I went straight to work. And this is just to be truthful and honestly, it's been a nightmare. Like I've been harassed by this side. Oh, and just once I found out about the PPO and stuff like that, I've literally had no contact with her. I've literally stayed away because I didn't want something like this to happen. So I've been keeping my distance and I've been following my court dates like as I'm supposed to, Your Honor. And I'm just, like I said, it's been devastating. I haven't seen my son in over 2 months. And
anything else you want to tell me?
I'm good.
All right. Mr. Fortier is going to have a chance to ask you some questions now. Do you need a minute?
I'm good.
All right, Mr. Fortier, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, could I grab that exhibit from you?
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Emers, just wanted to clarify real quick. You said on the day that that the PPO was served,
October 29th.
you had timesheets to show you were at work?
Yes, because I went straight to work, and when I go into there, I have a button that I have to press. It literally tells you your time for that.
Do you have those timesheets with you today?
No, I do not. I didn't think I would need any of this and all this. Like I said, it's all brand new to me, so I don't know. Last time I did paperwork and stuff, I mean, I'm going sidetracked. I'm sorry. No, I do not have any of that.
All right. And the exhibit that's been submitted in here, you had a chance to look at it. I can give it back to you, but actually, I'm going to give it back to you. Permission to approach?
Yes.
So, Mr. Emers, you would agree with me that the timestamp on that text message there says 5:22 p.m. dated October 29.
Yes.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Mr. Emers, let me take a minute. I think I might have a question for you, but let me get something first.
Yeah.
The exhibit number 1, first line of it reads, "I can't believe you told the court I beat my son. I neglected him, molested him so you could get the PPO." How is it that you would be able to write that before you received the PPO?
Because I asked the lady that my landlord, like, how could somebody be served for a PPO? And she was telling me that it can be for harm or it can be for like a sexual purposes or anything like that. So when I wrote that first line, Your Honor, I was organizing all of it all in one large lump sum, if that makes sense, because I was trying to cover the whole genre of it.
How would your landlord know about the PPO?
Because she had to serve the PPO to her so that I could no longer come back to that apartment. So that's how she knew. She gave the paperwork to her. That's how I literally found out. Your Honor, I ended up getting a phone call from her. That's how I knew about it.
And you're saying that you got this information from the landlord when?
October 29th, around 4-ish. Around that time, I was on the highway coming back from Lansing.
When were you served with a copy of the personal protection order?
Same day, October 29th, but not until around I honestly, I couldn't even tell you the time. Like, all I know is after I got served, I got to work at 5:10, 5:15. So
Where do you work at?
I work at Corwith Station out in Vanderbilt, which is an extra like 10 minutes from here, Your Honor.
That's the restaurant in the little mall in Vanderbilt?
It's a restaurant. I don't know about the other thing what you're talking about. It is a restaurant right before out there. And then,
As you're going north, it's on the right-hand side of the road.
yes, Your Honor.
And there's a number of other businesses in a little building.
No. This is the first one you get to see. And then there's actually like 2-3 miles before you get into Vanderbilt, Your Honor. It's just its own little place out there.
All right, I understand. Used to be well, it's just before the overpass. Or close
Yes,
to the
yes.
overpass. All right.
Yes, you're correct, Your
I
Honor.
remember where you're at now. All right, good. And so you were working, you say so you sent this text from work? Is that what you
I
said?
sent it as I was driving. I voice texted it.
Well, this says it was at 5:22 that it was.
Yeah, I was
So you're
running.
still driving at 5:22?
Yes, because I believe I got there anywhere between, honestly, like, my recollection, I was there anywhere from like 5:15 to 5:30. I could literally probably pull up what time I got there, which would probably be like anywhere between that. I remember sending this text. It's just the timing, I can't remember because so much was going on.
So where were you before you sent this text?
I stopped at her aunt's house to grab a couple of my stuff before I headed to work because,
Is that the same aunt's house that she testified to that you were served at?
yeah,
So she says that you were served. You say at the aunt's house, and you say you were not served at the aunt's house?
no, she said that she saw me get served, which I was inside her aunt's house. Her friend served me as she was coming in while I was inside there because I didn't know her that very well, and we didn't understand why somebody was walking up to her side of her apartment. So
Okay, so the
until I
friend,
got served.
and what time was that?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't look down at my phone to see exact timing when it happened.
It seems to me, and from what I heard from her, that you were served before this text. The text was at 5:22. You say you were on your way to go to work when you sent the text. And she said, Olstrom says that the service was at your aunt's house. You say you were at your aunt's house. It sounds like you got served before you sent the text.
No, like, so I literally sent the text right after my landlord told me about this stuff as I was coming back and stuff like that.
Coming back, hang on, coming back from where?
I was coming into town from Lansing and stuff like that. Like,
But you told me that you were at your aunt's house before you went to work at.
right, I stopped there
restaurant.
and stuff like that.
Okay, so why isn't it that you weren't, excuse me, why are you telling me that you weren't served if you were at the aunt's house, got served by the woman that she says was served you? Why isn't that prior to when you sent this text on your way to work?
Honestly, I don't know, Your Honor. Like, I probably did send the text and just didn't realize after I got served the paper. I'm just being all honesty. I probably
Mr.
served it.
Emers, don't tell me that you now remember if you don't remember. You either did it or you didn't do it. That's the bottom line here. Don't tell me in all honesty and then change. So which is it? She says that you were served at your aunt's house. You admit being at your aunt's house. That seems to line up with the time frame of you going from your aunt's house to work and sending the text on your way to work. Is that what happened?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so it sounds to me like you got the PPO first and then started looking at it and got mad and sent this text, right?
Yes.
Dumb thing to do, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you think I should do about that?
It's just heated in the moment and like a mistake, Your Honor.
Well,
Like,
then why didn't you come into court and tell me that?
because
Judge, I made a mistake.
well, it's
right?
because I'm with everything that's going on right now and how my life is basically being destroyed by this lady with my son. I have so much, like, I'm not using this as an excuse or nothing like that, but I have a lot going on and I'm trying to figure out all this going on. And I'm trying to remember if I sent this when I was mad or how all this is going on. Like, and then, you know, doing this whole court, it's just literally me and her were together for 3 years and it's just a horrible breakup. And then all this is happening because of a horrible
I get all
breakup.
that, right? I get all that. Life is difficult sometimes, and relationships are especially difficult sometimes. But let me tell you this, honesty is always the best policy. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
It would have been a whole lot simpler and a whole lot easier than for me to try to drag this out of you. If you'd have just said, hey, Judge, I apologize. I got hot 10 minutes after I got this PPO. I made a dumb mistake and I texted her when I shouldn't have. You could have done that today, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't you go have a seat back over there, sir?
Here you go, sir.
Mr. Emers, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to ask Mr. Fortier what he believes I should do as a result of this. And I'm going to ask Ms. Olstrom what she believes I should do as a result of this. And then I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell me what you think I should do as a result of this. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about it while you're listening to the other people, right? Mr. Fortier, as to this PPO violation, what do you think we should do?
So Judge, initially when I came in here, I was kind of hopeful that things were going to play out a little different because it seemed, based on the timing, I mean, we're talking 4:51 service followed by a text message at 5:22, that this was going to be kind of chalked up to a knee-jerk kind of reaction of someone who just had a significant event placed on them. I think the monkey wrench gets thrown into it coming in here today, trying to kind of sidestep the issue, skirt around it, come up with a different story, and basically try to hide his actions to the court. I do recognize that in terms of PPO violations, is this one the most egregious one that I've ever seen? No. But I think there's got to be some sort of message sent, and I would leave it up to the court to determine what that message is. And obviously there's jail time at play, there's fines at play. I think the court can fashion a sentence for the violation that fits the severity of it. So I would just ask the court to take everything it's heard here today into account and fashion an appropriate sentence.
Thank you. Ms. Olstrom, what are your thoughts?
Well, when I only got the text, that was like, I mean, it's against the PPO, but it wasn't like, okay, like, I'm okay, like, but him driving by the apartment, because like he said, he was at the office, like I watched him come from down the road from the stop sign all the way down to the other stop sign. So like he deliberately went out of his way, because last I know, he was staying with my aunt, which was where he was served, my Aunt Brenda, at Northwind Apartments. I don't know if you know where that is, but yeah. So in order for him to get to work, he would have to pretty much avoid my apartment, but he deliberately went out of his way and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, whatever you decide, I'm just honestly like kind of like with the constant showing up at the apartment stuff, getting a little scared. Because like it's just me and my son there. And I have changed my number, which I gave the court, but I didn't, you know, he obviously doesn't have it. So I haven't gotten any other texts, but like just, my apartment manager said that he hasn't shown up to return the keys or sign the lease because he can't sign off on it until my balance is 0, which means I paid my rent, which I'm getting help for. So I have to wait for the check to come for her to contact me to come first and then him to come and sign off on it. So as far as I know, he hasn't been there besides to hand her paperwork to serve me.
Right. Other than those short or small situations where he would be required to be at the apartment complex, are you aware of any other reason why he would need to be at your apartment complex?
After he signs off on the lease, he is no longer allowed on the property. And he can be on the road and stuff because she can't say nothing. But that falls into the PPO. He would have no reason to be there because he can get on the wait list because she lawfully has to put him on there. But as long as I'm residing there, he can't get an apartment there. He can't visit a friend there or a family member there.
I'm just asking if there's any other, if he does have relatives that live there.
No, he does not. Not to my knowledge,
so there's
no.
no other reason that you can think of that he would need to be there.
No.
All right. Mr. Emers, what do you think I should do about this?
I understand with the violation and me sending that at the heat of the moment. I don't want to lose my job or lose how far I've come so far. I'm willing to do community service and pay fines and stuff for having this issue, but honestly, I just want to be able to move forward. I have no contact with her besides, for my son, once we start our custody hearing. Like I said, I have no reason to go over there. I already found my own place to live, Your Honor, and stuff, so I don't want to have nothing to do with her anymore besides with my son.
That's a great start. Great start. So you guys do have custody hearings set up already?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So now you know how to deal with those issues, right? That's with the friend of the court and the referee and that process. And if you're not happy with that, you get to appeal to me. But today's hearing is not about custody and your son and all that kind of stuff. And you've told me that you have no reason to be at the apartment complex other than what she's explained. You may have to go there and sign something off, but there's no reason to be driving by, right?
No, I haven't.
All right. So if there are future violations, we'll go through this process again. I'm not going to prejudge it. We'll go through this process, or if it's a bad enough violation, the police could get involved and say that you're stalking her or involved in a PPO violation. They could get involved. But if there are further violations, you need to know that the penalties go up as the violations increase. You understand that? All right. For today's purposes, I think the biggest lesson is if you would have come to me in the beginning of this and said, Judge, I made a mistake and I'm sorry. You would have, I'm going to call it, manned up instead of trying to weasel out of it. Things would have been a whole lot easier and faster, and we could have just said, all right, you learned a lesson, you lost your temper for a minute, or did a dumb thing, but life is full of those kind of situations. But Mr. Fortier is correct. You came into court and you basically tried to lie to me. Okay, and that is unacceptable. You simply can't do that. And for good reason, right? This is a courtroom. We should be able to depend on what things are said in a courtroom as being truthful. That's why I had you raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You understand that? Okay. I would think that as a dad and as a man, that you would want to be known as a man of your word, that you would want people to trust what you say. And whether you're getting along with the mother of your child or not, you would want her to be able to, especially her as the mother of your child, you would want her to be able to trust what you're going to say. Even if you get hurt in that process, I get it. Split ups are hard, right? And there's always emotions involved. I understand that. But even so, when you are an honest person, when you have what's called integrity, even when you're hurt, you tell the truth. You do the right thing. Okay? And you didn't do that today. That doesn't mean that you can't do that in the future. I would hope that you would change your ways and would begin to do that now, that you would take this and learn from it. Okay? Now, having said all that, the text that you sent is not the worst text in the world. In fact, many of the other texts that you wrote upon which I granted the PPO are much worse. We're venting pretty badly to her. And that's not acceptable either. Okay, she is the mother of your child. You need to treat her with respect. That doesn't mean that you need to agree with everything she says, but there's a way to talk to the mother of your children. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear any more. You can disagree all you want. Say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. But the name calling, the threatening, the accusing, and the accusations, the accusing her of doing improper things, none of that needs to happen. And it's not going to make your son or I don't remember what your child is, but it's not going to make your child, as a child grows up, it's not going to make your child love you anymore and love her any less. In fact, it's going to cause that child lots of heartache when two people that are most important to the child can't act like adults and get along. You understand what I'm saying to you? All right. So because you didn't really say a lot of bad things about her in this text message, I'm going to limit the fine. I'm not going to put you in jail, but I'm going to limit the fine. It's going to be $100 fine because you came into court and you lied. Okay. I would have just let you out of here with a talking to if you hadn't come into court and lied. Okay. She's absolutely right for saying you should not have sent her a text. You had a PPO which said no contact, no communications. That should have been it. Should have been your warning, right? The judge says no, that means no. So you got $100 fine. Can you pay that within the next 7 days?
I can pay up Tuesday, Your Honor.
All right, I'll let you do that on Tuesday. If you're not here on Tuesday, I'm going to issue an order to show cause and we're going to come pick you up.
Oh, no.
Because you got to be a man of your word, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So on Tuesday, you're in here paying your PPO fine. Okay? Does he need to go down, Ms. Stinson, does he need to go down to the county clerk's office and pay that, or does he pay that here? Or doesn't it matter?
I don't know. I haven't done the PPO fine yet. So I'm not, I would think it's with us since we have. the
So let's do that. You're gonna, do you know where the county clerk's office is at the building
Right down the
downtown?
hall.
Yes, you're gonna go in there. Ms. Stinson is
I'll
probably,
figure it out.
she'll figure it out for you. She'll give you a receipt for that, and that'll be the end of it. I'm gonna assume that there's gonna be no more problems with this, and you'll be able to handle everything else in the child custody matter, all right? Do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Fortier, anything else?
Just to clarify for Mr. Emers, it sounded like he said down the hallway. It's the,
Downtown, I meant to
yes,
say.
yes, downtown.
So downtown, first floor, find the clerk's office, take your payment on Tuesday. All right, you're free.